Welcome back to Field Ops with Friends. Where Elias got mad at me while we were gone and he took the controller from me.
Yep.
Yo! See? You see that high level play that changes the moment somebody else has the controller? Man. So, I gotta tell you. So, spoiler alert, we recorded these episodes out of order. Right, so the first episode that hopefully you guys will have seen by now was Pokemon Snap with Molasses. And I hope you enjoyed that. And of course, leave us feedback on those relevant videos or send me a Discord DM or whatever so that I know how it is and how we can improve stuff as we go. The second one that we started recording was this one. Elias and I recorded about half the game in one session, and then we decided to pick back up the next Sunday, which is today, to record the rest of it, which is what we're doing. Yeah, because it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was exhausted, and I was like, let's stop and do the rest next week. In between that, we started filming the third game, which you'll see when it comes out sometime-ish, which is Portal with Ches.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, with Ches. And we beat the game in less than 2 hours because we're hard asses. And and what's happening right now is the exact opposite of what happened when Ches and I did that recording footage, which was just last night, by the way, where he would, like, kind of just a little bit of, like, just a tiny bit of struggle with something. I'd be like, all right, give me the controller. And I'd just take it and just, like, beat raffle stomp, as they say. Just absolutely annihilate the level. And Ches would be like, can I have my controller back now? It's just what that reminded me of. You take 2 steps forward, pull out your scan visor, and yeet across the room. And it's just like, yeah, this feels familiar.
So speaking of the, continuing to preview the next series, I met someone that was not, like, they had no experience in video games whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
Which is rare in, my circles.
Yeah.
And they were just like, where do I start? And I was like, that's a great question. And so I was just like, are there, like, what genres do you like, fantasy, adventure? And they didn't really, have any that matched with a lot of video games, or at least ones that were sort of like just traditional video games.
Yeah.
Then I was like, well, do you like puzzles? And they're like, oh yeah, I love puzzles. I'm like, okay, maybe Portal. It's short, it's cheap, it's a pretty solid puzzle game.
Oh, sure.
So that was what I went with. I don't think they've tried it yet, but we'll see if I cause this person to hate video games or not.
In my opinion, Portal's really, really good.
Yeah,
Portal
I mean,
2 even more so.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely still think you should do Portal 2 after Portal.
Oh, yeah.
But it seemed like a nice little, The only caveat is if you don't like first-person perspective.
That's true, yeah.
Pirates, can you just stop, please?
Man, they are on you.
Yeah. Pretty unfortunate.
Whoa. Game couldn't keep up with you there. That was impressive.
Yeah, it happens.
So, just to reiterate on this is in fact the frigate that you storm at the beginning of the game, yes?
Mm-hmm. Cool. Crashed.
Crashed because it blew up?
No, because there are too many bugs in it. All the parasites.
I see what you did there.
Can you please?
They are messing you up.
God, fine.
I'm not gonna lie, I got nervous.
Yeah. We got the gravity. Well, I did lose a lot of health there, which is why I finally just frozen. Speaking of...
I haven't heard this music in a hot minute. So correct me if I'm wrong, but there are no progression items here, right? This is just a way to get to a different place.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The only progression that's underwater is the gravity suit itself.
Wow.
Just so you can get to mines.
So, what happens if you come here without the gravity suit?
So, everything I have done thus far, you can do very, very slowly without the gravity suit. I'll let you know when it gets to the point where it's supposed to be like, okay.
Is it the elevator room, like the diagonal slant elevator?
Yeah.
How long has it been since you've done the sunken frigate?
Earlier today.
Oh. Oh, wow. Let me just grab my shoe real quick and put it in my mouth. That's right. You did it like a door entrance randomizer, like on a per door basis today, didn't you?
Yeah, door randomizer. It's not as applicable in the frigate with these special large doors, but every other normal door was randomized.
That's wild. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
That's good. Did you finish it?
Challenged. Yeah,
Nice.
it was a sub 2.
You did a door rando in less than 2 hours?
Less than 2 in game time. It was a little over 2 real time.
Wow. I think that's a save room, right? You want to like
Yeah, it's a save room.
see when Elias. Oh, that's why you didn't. Okay. I knew that. I was just testing you.
So you can get this without the gravity suit, but then you have to jump on top of this, and you can't do it, quote, without gravity suit.
Is there a way to
So
like slope up there?
Some text comes up, and it's like, oh, you need more freedom of movement underwater. You should go find that. And eventually then it'll tell you where it is. Yeah, you can. If you slip up this and flow to jump up that.
Cool. Can you get up
And
this
then
room?
the real trick is morph ball boosting and bombing up this shaft.
I'm gonna be
with
honest.
water
That sounds
physics.
miserable.
Yeah, it's not the worst part.
Oh, good. So, if you know exactly what you're doing, can you get through the frigate without the gravity suit?
Forwards, yes. Backwards is still yes, but a lot trickier. The thing is, for Hydro Access Tunnel, which I'll point out when we get there, it's towards the end of the frigate, you will need Boost Ball to get through it to trick the physics if you don't have the gravity suit. And I'll show you why later.
Okay. Interesting. This place is oddly serene for it being, you know...
The music is great,
Yeah.
and the gameplay is not. I was going to make a joke about another game being similar. But...
I was too, but then I thought, you know what? People get mad at me if I make that joke. I was going to say Xenoblade Chronicles 2. What were you going to say?
I was trying honestly to think of a game that enough people would know that would be like, oh yeah, that's true for that game. But
So Kingdom Hearts.
like I said, I was trying to think of a game where it's
No, I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 recently, and like the more I play it, the more divisive I become on the different things. The soundtrack is amazing. Like, such a good soundtrack, man. However, it has some of the worst side quests I've ever seen in a JRPG.
I don't play too many JRPGs.
See, I hear you clicking it.
Yeah, no, it's because I'm pressing the real A button. I'm used to the shoot button, not for standard button layouts like this, like the Xbox controller we're using for some reason. I'm pretty used to like Dread controls, right? Where the A/message confirmation button is an actual A button, but the shoot button is like a Y button or something.
Right, right. It's so wild to me, the X button, right? Because on Xbox, it's the left face button, and on PlayStation, it's the bottom face button. And on Nintendo, it's the top face button. So it's just like, everybody has it in a different place. It's like, ugh.
I don't know why they don't just get together and decide on something, but I guess I can understand why. I guess I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. You know, actually, though, like, honestly, I feel like specifically Nintendo and Microsoft have been getting along so much lately, and you love to see it. Some companies are sticking in the mud, but
I think if anything's going to do it, going to be on standard, it'll be Xbox, right? Because even Sony in Japan, for the longest time, X button was like the main confirm button in the West.
Right.
And the left side was, or sorry, the right side button was the, I forget if it's circle or square. I think
It's circle. Yeah, it's circle.
Was the confirm button in Japan.
Right.
Which makes sense if you look at Nintendo, that's where the A button is.
Yeah.
So, but Sony just recently said, okay, across the world now, it's the X button at the bottom, right? Which is where the Xbox A button is. So I could see Nintendo eventually doing that if they were ever in like a Wii U situation where they just needed to like, you know, do things another way instead of their own way. So this is Hydro Access Tunnel, right?
Okay.
And you have these vents that if you, hang on, I'm getting lag. If you lay a bomb, right, you float up, right?
Sure.
It sort of temporarily like puts some of the non-gravity suit physics right. Which means if you were to do this without gravity suit, it just shoots you straight up, right? So no matter what direction you come at this room from, you have to cross this shaft, which I just climbed, right? Which it'll just shoot you and you get the energy tank for free. The problem is coming back down.
Oh.
Because I just fell slowly, but you won't fall. You'll just always hover up. So you have to do this thing, and I'll try to show it on this side. I don't know how well I can show it without these, but if you assume that I'm like floating, touching, hugging the ceiling constantly, and charging a boost, anytime I hit the lip, I like bounce down a little bit, and if you release your boost, it'll boost you down. So you have to do that like 2 or 3 times to get down that shaft once you float back up.
That's interesting. It's an interesting mechanic. Huh. I didn't know you could freeze those. I guess that makes sense. You can freeze like anything. Does freezing an enemy actually do damage?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was more like a status ailment. Whoa. Oh, that's your Phazon warning. Is it the first time you come across Phazon in a normal playthrough? Like in a large quantity?
This much of it.
Wow. Okay.
Aside from like what's in Thardis.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, even then it doesn't say Phazon directly, it just says Phazon radiation.
I think it says it in the scan. I don't know. Yes, this is the first time it's everywhere.
Interesting. I wonder if it's its own unique type of radiation, or if it's just like...
Phazon really is like a Mary Sue substance. It can just do and make possible everything in these games.
Magical MacGuffin radiation?
Radiation substance, like it can mutate, it can be weaponized, it can give life to things, like it's...
It does whatever it needs to be doing.
Does whatever it needs to do for the plot. And by the time you get to Prime 3, it's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, where am I going? Okay.
I'm telling you, Phazon in the Metroid games, it's like, give me a second, Dead Space, right? I'm not going to go into details because of spoilers, but Metroid Prime 3 and Dead Space 3 remind me of each other somewhat.
Do you know when Dead Space 3 came out?
Oh, God. 2011? Hang on. Hey, Siri. When did Dead Space 3 come out?
Dead Space 3 was published February 5th, 2013.
Damn.
Oh, that was... okay.
Well, 2013. I thought 2011. I was wrong. Speaking of which, I don't know if you knew this, but they are remaking Dead Space 1.
I did.
And it comes out in a month and a half.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah. Well, so I'm hoping to get to play it, but we'll see. Why thermal? Oh. That's not why, right?
Yeah, they're Shadow Pirates.
Oh my god. That was so cool. When you had your thermal on and then you froze them, the thermal signature disappeared because they were so cold. That's so cool to me. Man, they just...
Yeah, they did.
It's those touches,
They
you know?
took some attention to detail here, yeah.
Wow. So what's behind that door? Flamethrower?
Well, yeah.
I couldn't remember. Explains why it's blocked by a plasma door. So flamethrower is basically plasma super missiles, right? And then the
Supposed to
Wave
be.
Buster is the wave version, and then the Ice Spreader, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Okay. And those are pretty much useless, except for Final Boss, right?
Ice Spreader is very useful in Final Boss. The other two are always useless.
Oh, rip.
Except in Door Randomizer, where there are flamethrower doors and wave buster doors.
That's wild.
And those useless items become actual progression.
I bet that's really weird feeling from as many times as you played this game.
A little bit. I usually get them if they're not out of the way either, which
Yeah.
I don't think hardly any of them were. But I remember like not having Wave Buster towards the end and saw it, and I was like, "That's Wave Buster. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna go out of my way a little bit to pick it up."
That's so bizarre. You know what I think would be really interesting? If the different upgrades increased the base damage of the base beam. So, like, for example, you pick up super missiles, and your power beam does a permanent 20% more damage. You pick up the wave buster, your wave beam does a permanent 20% more damage. I think that would be an interesting way to add to it.
Yeah, that could be cool. That's not no.
Ooh, this guy. So this guy's programmed weird, right? The one in the tank.
A little. We're not gonna worry about him yet because we can't break his tank.
Right. Yeah, I want to say that, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is just based on memory, but in order to open his tank, you have to use a power bomb, but he's immune to power bombs unless you have the base power bomb, right?
The tank does not break open unless you use a power bomb that you got from the main power bomb pickup, which is where we're going next.
Interesting.
That's fixed in randomizer.
That's cool.
But by the time you come here in a speed run, you already have power bombs from expansions. But if you use one on the tank, nothing happens.
That's wild. I wonder why it's programmed like that.
It's probably not an actual power bomb material. It's probably just a trigger
Yeah,
that
like a
checks
flag.
if you got power bombs or not.
Whoa. That was a cool jump.
Yeah, it's nifty. No!
Oh no, you pushed the... Oh no. Hey, good shot.
Fought through the lag.
The other day I was reading... Whoa. What? How did you do that?
Laser was firing as I moved it.
That's wild. Why are you moving it back there? Fire it again.
Felt like it.
Ah. Hey, free stuff. I was reading...
Figured you might need it later.
Wow. I see how it is. I mean, you're right, but I see how it is.
If you see me go out of my way to get any expansions at this point, it's for your benefit.
So he says that until he realizes he's going to be the one fighting Metroid Prime.
With all this lag.
You'll be fine. I believe in you. So I was reading earlier, and I can't remember the exact numbers. I just remember I found it to be astonishing at the speed at which data travels. And
it is fast.
It was wild. I'm actually going to see if I can't look that up while you do this. So be funny while I look this up. All right, hang on.
Being funny by messing up a trick because my
Input
video
lag?
feed freezes in the middle of the jump and I don't know where to land. I have a funny tidbit about data speed
Sure.
that could be construed as lewd or inappropriate.
I am totally here for it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Data speeds have gotten very fast, but they do not come close still to the fastest recorded transfer of information, which right now is, as far as we know, male ejaculation. If you think about all the DNA and how compact it is, and how fast it is transferred. They took that and measured it in like bits per second, and it is wildly faster than anything we have come up with. Feel free to look it up.
I'll take things I didn't expect to hear today for 400, please. Oh my god.
I warned you.
So I can't find the article that I was reading, but I did see something posted a while back that said the world record for fastest internet speed has been utterly shattered as Japanese engineers have demonstrated a transfer rate of... Come on, load.
So this is for network speed.
Data. It says just data transmission. 319 terabits per second.
Nice.
That's wild. Not what I was looking for, but interesting anyway. Yeah, that's wild. I'd keep looking for it, but then I'm just gonna end up rabbit holing, and I don't want to do that. So, but it was something crazy, like it was like 70,000 miles a second or something. It was some ridiculously high number.
Cannot see myself. Well, it's like the speed of light, nearly, isn't it?
I think it's close, but also just based. If it's fiber optic, that definitely makes sense. I'm never gonna forget what you said.
Right. Yeah. So, like the guy that we didn't break the tank, he's gonna break out of his own, and he has the same AI behavior, which I'll try and showcase here since I now have to find him. He is going through his beginning animation, looking around, but doesn't actually start looking for me until right now. And if I keep strafing around him like this, which I think I just messed up.
Yeah.
No?
No?
Still doing it. Then he will never start his like attack AI, right? So part of the pain of fighting this guy is that he has a defense shield kind of he puts up where he's immune to like a lot of attacks.
Yep.
But if you catch him in this animation like this, you know, he doesn't have that up, so you can just sort of do this a lot, and now he started it. But had I been able to keep that up the entire time, it would have been just 2 fast misses.
It is trivial. That's really cool. It's a shame that
Trivial,
the lag kind of soiled it. Hey, you almost got it, though. He was very low on health. Nice.
The one downstairs is an extra strong version of these.
Huh.
Another fun 1.0 thing. Here we have, for the first time, Ice Troopers, which all these elemental troopers only take damage from the beams they're colored by.
Mm-hmm.
Charge shots obviously do the most damage, or
Sure.
like if I Ice Spreader, I think it one shots it. We can't get Ice Spreader yet. But this also still has behavior of frozen enemies, where if I hit it with a charge shot and missile it, it just dies.
Interesting.
They patched that for Ice Troopers.
So Ice Troopers are much worse in
versions.
later versions.
They're much more annoying because you have to shoot them with slow ice beam shots.
Yeah. Yeah, I always liked the Ice Troopers most. Them and the yellow ones, because you can just super missile them.
Super missile one shots, which is why I think Ice Spreader one shots these. Flamethrower and Blade Buster will not, because they're useless.
Why don't you tell me how you really feel? They at least the flamethrower works like an actual flamethrower, where it's just like a not a projectile that fires, but just like a cone in front of you that does persistent damage.
Very short range, very missile expensive, and not super damaging.
That's unfortunate. You
A
can
complete
skip
waste
this room?
of time? What do you mean skip? I just fell.
I don't know why I thought you had to do that normally. I always hate that room, and I don't know why. It's probably just all the elemental pirates that just drive me nuts. Oh, that's where the invisible dude is.
Yeah. Normally I have the X-ray visor, so this might take a bit.
So you can't lock on at all, right?
I'm just gonna. Nope. Can't scan it. Can't lock on.
Uh-oh.
Just gonna strafe until I get imagery back. Okay, that's good. Great.
There it is. Oh, that's right. There's a trick that you do to skip this, right?
You can,
But
it's
it's
not
really
super
hard, right?
consistent
Yeah.
because once you are down in this maze, in order to see all of it, this big thing fades away from existence, right? And then it pops back into existence for the cinematic afterwards.
Oh.
So if you are able to fall down into this as a morph ball, hit the trigger that is underneath, but then have a bomb that you've laid pretty deep into this that is just low enough to pop you back out, you'll hit the trigger and not be trapped in the maze. And then you just walk over here and fall into the power bombs.
Wow.
There is no way I'm going to try to do that with the lag I'm experiencing.
It's really fascinating to me, the lag that you have. For example, with when Ches and I did Portal, his wasn't nearly as bad, but he is like on the northern part of the East Coast, so he's not, relatively speaking, he's not that far from me compared to how far away you are from me.
My internet's also a little unstable.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I understand that.
Speeds. So that maze, like you see, I only really had to do half of it.
Yeah.
It randomly generates the actual maze every single save file.
Really? Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it uses a cool function that generates a completable maze. I think there's like 72 possible mazes or something like that.
Wow. That's a lot.
It used to be a problem in randomizer races because the maze would be different. Until they figured out, until they figured out how to, forget what the term is, but generate the maze based off of the randomizer seeds so that the maze was the same
instead
for
of the
both.
save file.
Yeah. Okay, remember this one.
Yeah. That'd be good. I'll be honest, I have no idea how deep into this episode we are. I don't know if we should cycle episodes here or not. Do you remember where we left off?
It's a good spot.
Perfect. It might be a short episode, it might be a long episode. I don't remember. Next time, Fit Ops and Friends, we save the game even more. All right. See you guys next time.
Bye.